Better than 20,000 here at the Yum Center in downtown Louisville, Kentucky. This is the ACC on ESPN. The Cardinals hosting the Syracuse Orange. A couple of teams desperate for a victory here tonight. A look at the ACC standings shows you that Louisville, they've lost 2 in a row. They have fallen behind Duke. Syracuse, 2 very tough losses. They have dropped to 500 in league play at 7-7. What's gone wrong for the Cardinals in their last 2 games at Georgia Tech and at Clemson? They just haven't made shots. 9 for 51 from three-point range as they lost both of those games. Welcome inside the Yum Center where the environment is always terrific. 20,000 plus. Dan Schulman and Dick Vitale fired up for this game. What is wrong with Louisville? What do they need to change to play better than they have the last 2 games?
Well, they need Jordan Nwora to be Jordan Nwora. Like the PT Pier, he was in the conversation for Player of the Year. But those 2 losses, Dan, he goes 2 for 11, 1 for 8 shooting threes, and he was nowhere near the factor he's been most of the year. He has to step it up because that becomes contagious to everybody on the team.
Let's take a deeper look at Nwora now with our Who's Made of More, brought to you by Guinness. This is one of the best players in the league, at times one of the best players in the country. Second in the ACC in scoring behind only Elijah Hughes at Syracuse. But as Dick mentioned, he's really struggled the last 2 games. Didn't even start the last game. He's back in the starting lineup tonight.
They need this game because they want to stay right on Duke's coattails. They're half the game, as you said, Dan, behind Duke. 1 in the loss column. Can't afford to lose this one. On the other side, Syracuse can't put it any other way. Their only chance of getting into the NCAA tournament, other than winning the tournament, which would be a long shot, they must win this game, a quad 1 win. Change the lineup for Louisville.
Let's take a look at the starting lineups tonight, brought to you by T. Rowe Price. For Louisville, Ryan McMahon, the sharpshooter, is in there to try to knock down some threes against the 2-3 zone. Also, David Johnson getting his first start, the freshman with the ball, and Malik Williams, who's playing very well lately. He gets the start as well, and it's the upperclassman Dwayne Sutton who knocks down the 3.
He's a tough guy, 9 rebounds, better than 8. Leads the team in rebounding, physical kind of player, plays hard all the time.
Syracuse, their offense comes from the perimeter. Hughes, Boeheim, and Joe Girard, the freshman from Glens Falls, New York, who has scored 52 points in his last 2 games.
Yeah, he's been really terrific. Had 30 in the game against Florida State.
Turnover, transition, Johnson no, and the rebound down to Sidibe, but it's poked away by Sutton. Nwora. And a good rebound in traffic by Hughes. That would have been a great start for Nwora had he been able to knock down that shot.
People better watch this guy right now with the ball, Hughes. He's a terrific player. Came back from a groin injury. I think you did the game when he went out against NC State. He had that groin in the first 3 minutes. I'm not taking anything away from NC State, but I believe Jimmy Boeheim's kids would have probably won that game at home with Hughes in the lineup.
And how about an early sub? Obviously, Jim Boeheim not happy with Bourama Sidibe. And the freshman Quincy Guerrier from Montreal is into the game for the Orange. I agree with you. They lost a heartbreaker to NC State without Hughes. Then they went on the road to Tallahassee and took Florida State right down to the wire. But close losses aren't going to be enough to get them into the tournament.
Absolutely. Had a great chance against Florida State. Played without one of their best players, Marcel.
Great ball movement and an aggressive attempt at a dunk there by Nwora will send him to the free throw line for the second-year head coach here at Louisville, Chris Mack, after a great run at Xavier. And he believes his team, and we've seen early signs of it, after a couple of games really where they just seemed flat in many ways. A good day of practice yesterday, a players-only meeting on Monday. Malik Williams reportedly kind of leading the way, and Chris Mack expects a much better effort here tonight.
Well, they'll get a great effort here tonight. You know, I get a kick out of walked in Louisville today. People, what's happening to our Louisville Cardinals? What's happening? You think a lot of teams across America would like to be 21-5, like to be in a conference where they're in and have only 3 losses? Come on, now they went through a little slump. Didn't play well, no doubt about it. And you got to give Georgia Tech some credit, and Clemson, who beat them easily. 31-14 at the half. I couldn't believe that score. Football.
Another Syracuse turnover, nearly. Dolezaj got it back and draws the foul. So almost another empty possession for the Orange. And now Jim Boeheim is calling over his freshman, Joe Girard, to give him a little coaching on the fly.
I'll tell you one thing, Dan, you said it really well early. If Syracuse has any chance to win this game, the big three, the trio on the perimeter, have to come up big. Buddy Boeheim's had a terrific year, averaging over 15 a game. Went through a little slide here, 4 for 22 in the last 2 games. Girard's going to have to be big, and certainly Elijah Hughes has got to be the man for them to have a chance to win here tonight.
And if you go through their box scores, on many nights, 2 of the 3 had a really good game, but it's really been rare when all 3 have been hot in the same game, and they may need that, as you say, to win here tonight in Louisville.
Well, they beat them last year down there in Syracuse, beat by 20. The zone really bothered. Shot 27%.
Deep one for Ryan McMahon. And the Sarasota, Florida native, who has a place near and dear to Dickie V's heart, knocks down an early 3.
That was a long one, man. I thought he shot that from Lexington. The reason he's playing, he's improved tremendously with his defensive ability. There he is, popping the ball loose. Chris Mack told me yesterday on the phone, I said, gee, Ryan's been a little bit slumped in shooting. He said, let me tell you, his leadership, his toughness defensively, he's improved in a lot of areas.
And this is why he's starting. He's got the green light from basically anywhere beyond the logo to go and knock down a 3. Syracuse, of course, plays the zone. McMahon, of course, loves to shoot the 3. That's why he's in the starting lineup, and it's paid early dividends.
Well, last 2 games, 18% versus 40%.
Hughes, and he answers with a deep 3 of his own.
He's a big-time player. There's no question, none whatsoever, that he's one of the 5 best in the ACC. He's got to be all ACC.
Yeah, he is the leading scorer in the conference, just ahead of Jordan Warren. Off the fingertips of Johnson, a Louisville turnover. Syracuse, in spite of the fact they've lost the last 2, they're playing pretty well right now. But can they get enough wins? Can they get this win and then basically run the table through the regular season, make some noise in the ACC tournament? It's an uphill climb for them to go dancing.
What's that song? If I had hair, I'd be a TV star. if you give them, like, they're going to win here, they're going to run the table, and they're going to win some games in the tournament. That is really asking for a lot. Is that zone?
Johnson for 3. Long shot, long rebound, and Dolezaj runs it down.
Dolezaj very active on the glass for them.
Pull up Hughes. And Sidibe over the back.
Sidibe has been in foul trouble 8 consecutive games with 4 fouls.
And Syracuse is not a deep team. We already have seen Quincy Guerrier. Basically, it's a 6-man team. If Jim Boeheim goes deeper than 6, it's because somebody's in foul trouble or something's not going well.
You know, Guerrier's really important to them. He comes off the bench and gets that slasher.
McMahon again.
I think he feels pretty good that he's back in the starting lineup. He started earlier this year. Team did well.
And a travel is the call as Girard and Sidibe run into one another. Syracuse not looking very crisp in the early going.
Well, good effort right there by McMahon defensively. There he is right here. He's got to become, though, not one-dimensional. I've watched him throughout his career. I know he can drive. He just asked Notre Dame. He had 17 off the bench, made a reverse drive, got in the middle. But he's becoming too much thinking one way. Shoot the 3, shoot the 3. And teams can match up on that.
A change for Syracuse. Howard Washington, a junior from Buffalo, is into the game for the first time as Girard has gone to the bench. Warren misses a 3.
Not even close. He's missed 2, Dan, and they have not been close. They look like my 3, man. They look my 3. Those are Brick City.
Malik Williams hit the deck, called a timeout. Cardinals up by 6 early. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Wendy's. Try a Big Bacon Classic today. And by Marriott. Our passion is to help you follow yours. You know, the amazing thing is I'm told you never had one lesson.
I tell you what, G. Grouper. Ever hear of G. Grouper? That's way before your time.
Did you ever play a musical instrument in your life? Take lessons?
No.
Nothing?
Played the harmonica once in a while, messing around.
Dan Shulman to Dick Vitale. Look at some of the close losses for Syracuse. This is really coulda, woulda, shoulda kind of year for the Orange. Now, to be fair, they've had a couple of narrow victories as well. But if a couple of these L's or W's, they're looking at a whole different situation. Right now, they are unquestionably on the outside looking in. They need this game and then some just to get back in the conversation.
You know, Dan, 7-7 in the ACC normally would be a lock if you go 500. But this year, because it's not a vintage ACC, after the top three teams, Virginia's still very formidable. But out of those four, I mean, where do you get a quad win? It's really outstanding.
Yeah, you could have some Big Ten teams at 9-11 or 8-12 get in, and an ACC team maybe at 11-9 in league play not get in.
Buddy Boeheim on a long three. I'll tell you one thing, the defenses have made these guys go long in their threes. The two that McMahon hit and the one that Buddy just took.
Yeah, Boeheim, who's been so good until last game against Florida State, he was scoreless. They need his shooting. Wara tries another three, and the rebound down to Guerrier, who's back into the game for the Orange.
Guerrier, very important player today. Slasher, driver, and physical presence, a little toughness.
And right now in the first 5 minutes, you can see just a different level of intensity from Louisville than you saw if you watched the Georgia Tech and the Clemson games. It's just a totally different feel, and the Orange are not handling it very well.
A lot of pride, man. You come home here, look at 20-something thousand fans. They love, I tell you, the Bluegrass State, they love basketball. There's a school down the road in Lexington. They love it, too.
Aren't you going to be there on Saturday?
Yeah, I'll be there for the Gators in Kentucky. Bob Shoes and myself, Chris Budden, we're looking forward to that. That's always fun.
McMahon over the top. Malik Williams challenged at the rim, and he's fouled.
Nice pass by McMahon. He's going to learn to drive gaps, drive seams. I told his dad this the other day. Watching him play. Watching him play at high school level. He used to drive like crazy. Maybe he's throwing a lob up on top. He's an amazing story, Dan. I'll tell you why he's an amazing story. He did not have one major college scholarship. Forget a major, he didn't have one mid-major. No one. Remember, I came to you when the first I showed a video to you. We were doing the Carolina game. I said, take a look at this kid. I said, this kid could play somewhere.
Yeah, well, showing the video to me didn't help him. Showing the video to Rick Pitino helped him ultimately, right?
Yeah, Rick gave him a chance,
Gave him an opportunity. Second foul on Guerrier, but he stays again because Syracuse has such limited depth.
They lost the kid early in the year. Going carry, point guard.
Yep. So now with Girard on the bench, Washington doing some of the ball handling.
He's a distributor. Washington will pass the ball.
Boeheim, yes. Much needed bucket for the Orange.
Tell you one thing, shot it a lot better than his dad did when his dad played. His dad was tough, though. His dad used to play the Eastern League when the Eastern League was big because there was only 8 teams in the NBA.
That is Buddy Boeheim's 85th made three-pointer this year. He leads the ACC in that department. But Louisville's knocking him down at the other end. The second made three for Dwayne Sutton.
9 for 51, as you said. Unbelievable in their last 2 games. Normally they make 9 or more a game. They did it 15 times this year.
And they're already 4 for 8 tonight from beyond the arc. Boeheim will try another one. And Guerrier almost picked up foul number 3. He's got to be careful. Sutton flying down the court. Wara, the pull-up at the elbow will go.
That could get him going. I think his thing is mental. I think he's got himself a little down on the way he's played. That could certainly help him. The crowd's trying to help him, standing up, cheering. Jordan Wara has to be Jordan Wara if they're going to do anything come March.
Some kind of noisy here at the Yum Center. Guerrier, at least for the moment, will quiet the crowd.
He's a driver, as I said. Slasher, very physical. Packs the basket. It's hard to believe. Jimmy Boeheim, 44th year coaching.
As the head coach. Before that, an assistant, and as you mentioned, a player as well. Williams too strong. Follow, and a foul will send Sutton to the line. Again, Louisville continues to play with just a much different level of effort than we saw the last 2 games.
That's one thing about Sutton. He'll drive that back. Just Wara with a little 15-foot. He can shoot the ball in 3 different areas. He can shoot the 3, Wara, when he's playing really well. He can shoot the mid-range jumper, and he can certainly take it to the basket.
One of the things Chris Mack can count on is the guy at the free throw line. Dwayne Sutton's going to give you that 10 out of 10 effort every single night. Might not lead you in scoring, but defense, he's number 6 in the league in rebounding. He's a 6'6" wing guy. Effort, loose balls, hustle, all of that stuff. A+.
No question about it. He's averaging over 8 rebounds a game. Very tenacious. You know, you're pretty good at this. I like the way you go. Man, I'm going to call the bosses up. They should hire you for more games.
Oh, okay.
Do I get 10%?
You look familiar. Have we worked together before? Great rebound by Guerrier, and he muscles it up and in.
You know, I haven't seen this, the first time I've seen Syracuse in person. Watched him on TV, and he caught my eye, Guerrier. I really did. Been caught by this kid. He plays hard. I love guys that are attackers.
Wara trying to back down Dolezaj, and he does.
He's trying to feel it. I think he's just got to get a little rhythm mentally. You know, he went through a little slump earlier this year, and then he broke out against BC for 37.
Joe Girard back into the game for Syracuse. And Dolezaj was trying to hand it off to Hughes, who was running on the baseline around a screen. A little miscommunication between two of the veterans on this Syracuse team.
And Girard's last 2 games, 30 and 25. He's got an incredible future. The one thing about him, he's a 4-year player. Oh, push off.
Wara called for the push.
Yep, no doubt. Take a look at Mr. Jordan Wara. Here he is. There was conversation that he was going to be Player of the Year nationally. And he is out of the conversation now, but he seems like he's playing tonight.
If ever there was a Sonic blockbuster, this is it. High noon Eastern time, actually 11 a.m. local time in Waco. Number 3 Kansas, number 1 Baylor. The Bears already beat the Jayhawks this year. Did that in Lawrence. They'll try to make it 2 in a row, and this game could be for the number 1 overall seed in the NCAA tournament.
I'll tell you one thing, Kansas play really great defense now. Kansas really defended well, but so is Baylor. Baylor's got a mental toughness. I think a lot of people thought they'd get beat by Oklahoma. Thinking ahead to that Kansas game, they showed their mental toughness. Butler, team, really, really tough players.
Right now, Joe Lunardi has Baylor and Kansas both securely on the 1 line. What a block from behind there by Elijah Hughes. On the block attempt, on the dunk attempt by Stephen Enoch. And now a block at the other end on Samuel Williamson. If you didn't see Louisville there on the 1 line or the 2 line, Joe Lunardi dropped them down to a 3 after their last couple of losses.
Well, Dr. Joe knows what he's doing. You got to win, man. You want to build those lines, you got to win. San Diego State, some winning 26-0.
Yeah.
You know, I'm thinking about the ACC. Wara certainly was in the conversation for Player of the Year in the conference. I think right now that's got to go either to Trey Jones, who's been terrific for Duke, terrific, or Vernon Carey. Yeah. But you don't want those 2 guys. I mean, they're playing that well. Boy, I had them against Notre Dame. I could not believe how impressive they were.
Marek Dolezaj a little bit shaken up, hit the court hard after the dunk attempt. And needless to say, you can look at Dolezaj and see he is not the bulkiest guy in the ACC. 6'10", 185.
Good call there with the block. Yeah, and he went down strong. Yeah, they need him too, by the way.
Yeah, braced his fall with that left arm. That can be dicey, but fortunately it looks like a minor injury. He makes 1 of 2.
Well, he can play the 4 or the 5 for them.
Over the top, Enoch. Up and in with the left hand.
That size, Enoch transfer came over from Connecticut. A little word of advice to people in Yukon country, you watch Danny Hurley in the next 2 years.
Enoch and Malik Williams, pretty good 1-2 combo at the 5 spot. Williams playing the better ball of the 2 right now. Hughes with a drive, left hand, and he gets it to go. He can score in so many different ways.
Yeah, he's multi-talented. I hope he stays in school. Word is he's thinking of leaving, but the bottom line is he's not listed in the first round. And if you're not a first-round player, why leave? Go an extra year, build up your stock. Just like Ward, the Ward was not even in a draft situation. Now at least he's near the end of the first round. He was a first-rounder up to 2 weeks ago. He dropped down to 32 in one of the pools I saw.
Joe Girard will bank 1 home. Little run here for Syracuse to get back within 5.
Well, Joe Girard scores in a variety of ways too, man. He's like the Baskin-Robbins guy. He can score in a variety of ways. I know you like butter pecan and all those flavors. Oh, that was wow.
Big time collision, no call. Hughes got the worst end of that.
Trying that high-low stuff.
Hughes up and back in the play, rises up for a long three, and Williamson down with the rebound. One of the keys in Chris Mack's mind tonight is they have to dominate the glass against Syracuse. The grad transfer, Fresh Kimball, gets the floater to go.
I'm talking Phil Martelli, and he goes on and on about Kimball. He was a 3-year captain at St. Joe's, tremendous leader, good basketball IQ. They're a deep team in the perimeter. Perry, Kimball, McMahon, Johnson.
Orange trying to get Buddy Boeheim going. He can't get free for a look. Now he does behind a screen. Rebound McMahon.
He got a good screen right there. Used it, just didn't go down.
Wore a nice pass fake. Can't finish it. Big battle between Enoch and Guerrier, and it's out of bounds to Syracuse.
The one good news looking at Warriors, numbers aren't so great here, but he's being aggressive. He was not aggressive in the games against Clemson and Georgia Tech. Hard for me to believe his talent could go on the floor. I mean, I could see having a bad game. To me, a bad game with a guy with his skills is maybe 4 for 14. But he did against Georgia Tech. It was a no-show.
Yeah, and he had 4 turnovers in each game as well. He'll get a breather. Dwayne Sutton back in. Malik Williams, David Johnson are back in for the Cardinals as well. And Bryson Goodine is in for the first time for Syracuse, a freshman from New Bedford, Mass, who because of all kinds of foul trouble played late in the Wake Forest game and got the tip in, the winner with the buzzer.
He won the game, the buzzer in that game.
Not this time for Girard. Johnson, a freshman, instrumental in their win at Cameron Indoor Stadium over Duke last month. He was sensational in that game.
19 points, 7 assists. Yeah, he took over that game, very physical. Mike Krzyzewski raved about him to me.
And they like him in the middle of the zone, making plays. He found Williams, knocked it out of bounds, but it still belongs to the Cardinals.
That was a big win for Louisville, going down to Duke to beat them on that floor. Thought after that they would be totally command, but Duke now in command. If they just keep winning, they're going to be right up there on top of that league.
Yeah, Louisville with the last 2 losses, now a half game back of Duke for the lead in the ACC.
More importantly, they're 1 game back in the loss column.
It is still Louisville ball, but just 3 seconds on the shot clock. Louisville and Duke, by the way, do not meet again during the regular season. They just had that 1 meeting.
Well, same thing with Syracuse now. They only play the 3 heavyweights 1 time, so they don't get that opportunity to really impress their resume. Too easy.
Off the inbounds play, the Cardinals take advantage and extend the lead to 9.
Yeah, breakdown right there defensively by Syracuse. No communication. Too easy.
You can see Goodine playing with that mask. Broke his nose in practice back in early January. Has just kept the mask on ever since. Hughes is short.
I think they're shooting the ball too quickly there. I think a little more patience, get better shots, a little too quick. There's definitely a step, with a real nice fake.
And a nice pass. Hughes knocks it out of bounds. Still Louisville ball as we go to a timeout. Each team's lost 2 in a row, both badly need a win. Cardinals up early. Welcome back to Louisville, where the Cardinals have an early 9-point lead on Syracuse. The Orange have had some turnover issues, and even when they've held on to the ball, as you mentioned, Dickie B, some quick shots.
Yeah, really very quick. Come down, not getting enough ball movement, player movement. They're really vital to any team. I think the possession starts so quickly, and they put the ball up right away. There's an example right there. You can see them right here on the screen. And I was talking about a little while ago about Player of the Year. As you watch Louisville drive in the lane, certainly got to think about Garza from down there. He's having a great year from Iowa. I give you 5. I give you Garza. I give you Miles Powell. Don't forget Toppin down at Dayton. Marcus Howard down there at Marquette. And Devon Dotson, who's tremendous for Kansas. Those are my 5 guys I put for Player of the Year.
Can I throw one in there to join the group?
Yeah.
Peyton Pritchard, Oregon.
Yeah, very good player. Well. I saw him early in the shoot of Bahamas.
Boy, Girard, I mean, we've talked about it. He's got a lot of different tools in the toolbox. He can score in a variety of different ways. He is not just an outside shooter. He's not a big guy, but he's not afraid to drive in there and try to score. He's
going to put out some big numbers during his career, because the one thing, he's no one-and-done guy. He's going to be there for 4 years at Syracuse. He's got some magical numbers. Too easy shots. They're getting too easy. Getting right in the gap and seam in the zone for little mid-range jumpers.
David Johnson, the freshman from right here in Louisville.
Played at Trinity High School. Had a shoulder problem and surgery. Missed
another
like 4 months.
turnover. Well, when you're turning it over more than the other team, you're getting out rebounded, and you're not making threes.
You're in trouble.
You got a problem.
That's
right
a
now,
formula.
you got a problem. Yeah.
That's a formula for going to a locker room that has an L on it.
Yeah.
And they didn't come here to go with an L. Talked to Jim yesterday. He was as enthusiastic as ever, excited as ever about the year, about the future.
McMahon. Great rebound by Sutton. Great pass by Johnson. Wara for three.
Tell you, Warren's going to have a good game here tonight. Good game. Good timeout by Cuse.
All Louisville at the Young Center right now. Saturday night, the rematch you've been waiting for, Dick Vitale, is finally happening. Wilder Fury 2. Their first fight was a split draw. Now Wilder defends his WBC heavyweight title, 9 Eastern on ESPN+.
I was at an event where Wilder was at the event. I got my Lifetime Achievement Award last year. I said, congratulations to Leslie Visser getting it this year. Tremendous. But let me tell you, I saw him, man. He's a big guy. How is he big?
Gerard over McMahon. Long rebound to Hughes. Nothing from the front court for Syracuse. Guerrier had one driving bucket. They haven't gotten much out of Dolezaj. It's got to come from the perimeter guys, you would think.
Not getting any rhythm offensively.
3 on the shot clock. Gerard again couldn't finish.
Tough shot right there. Tried to get that English, spin that ball in.
Johnson and McMahon, and a block is called on Dolezaj.
One thing is very important when you play a team, timing. The timing, I don't think, has been right for Syracuse playing right now against Louisville. I mean, I'm not saying they can't come back and win, but I'm saying the timing, you're getting them an angry team, chip on their shoulder. Lose 2 games they shouldn't lose in their mind mentally. Clemson and Georgia Tech. And you can see the effort they're putting out here today.
And we mentioned the players only meeting, the spirited practice. Chris Mack thinking he would see his normal team coming out here instead of the group or the way they played the last 2 games. Wore a nice move but couldn't finish. Sidibe back into the game with the Orange down with a rebound. Boeheim has returned as well.
No doubt at all. You've seen Warren being very aggressive. Syracuse's only chance is Boeheim can get going and knock down some threes because he's capable of doing that.
Hughes, he is as well. Tip comes down to Malik Williams. Williams, the guy, as we mentioned, evidently chaired that meeting. He's one of the real leaders on this team, one of the best talkers on the court, and a guy who's growing into a bigger role for Louisville. McMahon again made his first 2. He's missed his last 3. Williams with a rebound and draws the foul.
Ryan McMahon, to me, has become too one-dimensional. I've said this time and time again. I've seen this kid drive, getting gaps. Everything's catch and shoot the 3 rather than put it on the floor and try to attack.
At the line, Malik Williams, 16 points, 8 rebounds against Georgia Tech last week. Over 12 points per game the last 4. That's why he started tonight. And Stephen Enoch coming off the bench. And Williams disliked that missed free throw so much, he went over and gave the net a talking to. Try to make it work better on the second shot.
Tell you one thing, nice combination, though, when you go Enoch and Williams, rotate them. That's 2 big guys that can play. Got good 4 guards that can use.
Yeah, they've got good depth. They can legitimately go 9 deep.
I mean, there was a time when they won 10 games in a row. I mean, think about 10 in a row in the ACC. They haven't done that in their 6 years that they've been in the conference. That was impressive. And I thought they have as good as chance as anyone to win the national title.
The lead is 13.
These 4 minutes are big to Syracuse. They got to be able to cut this lead down.
Gerard step back 3. They needed that desperately.
Squared his body really well. Got right in the gap and see. I like him. They're going to love him at the Carrier Dome in his career. He and Boeheim together. Are you kidding me? Because he's a South. He's a freshman. You're going to be there for 4-year players.
Enoch out to Sutton. Good recovery by the Orange. And they close out on McMahon in a hurry, but Louisville moving the ball well. Sidibe down with a 2-handed rebound, and the Orange looking to run.
Sidibe did a great job with that rebound. That's big.
Buddy Boeheim with a 3.
And he Buddy and Joey G. Look at Joey G. He's a leader, man. Wow, I see a little toughness on this guy. Remember McNamara now on the sideline? Sister, I'll never forget that final game. We all talked Carmelo. He went for like 6 threes that game against Kansas.
Yeah, Joe Girard's got some Jerry McNamara in him. Johnson fouled on the dunk attempt.
He does.
And that'll take us to the under 4 media timeout. Back-to-back threes by the Orange, making it closer. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Chloracetine HBP, powerful cold symptom relief for people with high blood pressure.
Well, I think they can make a big run depending on who they're going to play, because really, when you look at the field there, Sean, I mean, all those teams, there's a bunch of clubs that can win 6 in a row, getting it hot at the right time. There's no dominating team, even though Baylor's playing, won 23 in a row. I don't see them as a team that you automatically say, oh, wow, like you would have last year with the Duke club with Zion Williamson and company. So, again, they're very capable, Louisville, if they play their A game.
But to get to Atlanta, Warren's got to be a star, right? Like he's
absolutely. Oh, yeah. He can't be average.
Great move by Guerrier. And Syracuse has it down to 6.
Guerrier with a nice move right there. The one thing about Jim Boeheim, there'll be no panic. He's got poise. He's done this for 44 years. You know, if you would add in the wins they took from him to what he has, he'd be knocking on the door with Mike Krzyzewski.
Enoch rolled his ankle. It looked like he's gone to the bench. Williams back in.
They get a little passive here against the zone now. They should slide right to the foul line area.
Syracuse on an 8-1 run. Darius Perry misses the 3. And Guerrier down with another rebound. Guerrier's given him 6 points and 4 rebounds off the bench.
Every time I see him on the court, something positive seems to happen.
Guerrier tied up by Darius Perry, and the possession arrow will give it to the Cardinals.
You know, so much is really the leadership on the sideline. And you look at Mr. Boeheim there, that is one unbelievable leader. He really bleeds that Syracuse orange. Hey, by the way, where's our boss, John Wellham? I thought he'd be here. Our former boss. He's now the boss there up in Syracuse.
Yeah, he's the athletic director of Syracuse.
I worked with John for years in terms of when he was a producer. That was way before you.
Yeah, he wasn't a producer when I was there. He was my boss. Girard, after the turnover, pulls up for 3 and doesn't get the bounce.
He took a nice shot there, though. Squared his body well, just didn't go the roll his way. I'll tell you one thing, he plays hard. You can see his intensity up in that zone.
Huge scoring numbers in high school. Sutton lost his balance. Warra's got it. Kimball with a turnaround.
Foul line area, that's really been a plus for them. Right in that seam and gap, that big hole in that zone. They got to win these last 2 minutes. If you're Syracuse, you got to win the last 2 minutes here.
Chris Mack takes a timeout with 2:14 to go in the half. We mentioned off the top, Louisville just 9 for 51 from three-point range their last 2 games. They're doing a little bit better here tonight.
Yeah, doing a little better. McMahon started with 2 in a row. That certainly helped them. But I'm telling you this, I think too many threes has become unbelievable. It's really following, emulating what goes on in the NBA. And it's not enough in terms of moving the ball for better shots.
Yeah, half the field goal attempts in this game tonight have been from three-point range. And that's not that unusual these days.
No, not at all. You would have thought that would have changed a little with the movement of the line, but it hasn't changed it at all.
And teams always take more threes against Syracuse than they do against just about anybody else because of the zone. Guerrier, the handoff for Hughes. Perry, good ball pressure on Boeheim. Nearly a turnover. Dolezaj has it. Still got some time.
Nice fake.
Boeheim buries it. Not just a catch and shoot guy. He's really worked on the pull-up, getting into the lane, and diversifying his offense.
He really is. I was going to say that. You beat me to the punch. He's a guy that can put the ball on the deck, get free. I'm going to tell you, he's got a good future.
Ryan and McMahon with his third 3 of the game.
I'd like to see a little shootout. McMahon and Boeheim. 3-point shooting contest.
Well, you might get your way, Sticky V.
It's the Boeheim. Took a picture with him. What a beautiful guy. takes after his mom. I'm only teasing you, Jimmy B.
Boeheim into double figures. Syracuse hanging around after a very slow start.
Brother playing at Cornell.
Great job by Dolezaj to knock it away from Wara. Didn't see him coming.
Syracuse not going away here. That three can change the game quickly.
Big final minute.
I mean, Jerron doesn't play like a freshman. I'm telling you, he's a leader on the court. He's a real leader. Communicates well.
Hughes to Guerrier. And we got a foul underneath going against Louisville. Saturday's Sonic Blockbuster could decide the Big 12 title and maybe the #1 overall seed in the NCAA tournament. #1 Baylor hosting #3 Kansas. Noon Eastern on ESPN and the ESPN app.
Should be an electric environment down here in Waco, man. Game day will be going nuts. UJ and the company will have a great, great time. We're going to be up there in Rupp Arena. You got Dotson as a bouquet. What a tandem that is. Look at that tandem. Look at the numbers.
Talk about an inside-outside combo.
Well, that's why I like the Duke combo. I think they're right up there when you look Trey Jones and Vernon Carey. I mean, when you get that kind of a combo, Syracuse has got a threesome on the perimeter.
I think the lead was as many as 13 for Louisville, and Syracuse has shot its way back into this game.
And also coached their way back in the game. Jimmy Boeheim never panicked when they went behind. That's been
a good look. Can't give him that.
He wants to shoot that three. And he's got range.
You just can't help off that guy.
He's got range. You know what else they do? Guys like Buddy Boeheim and Ryan McMahon, even when they don't shoot well, Dan, they're assets to the team because they force people to have to play them and it creates space for other people to operate.
Great point. Hughes draws the foul. Second on Jordan Wara.
I mean, it's shooting this from Lexington, man. Look at this. Wow.
And you can see Gerard came down. He was worried about Sutton at the free throw line and left McMahon open beyond the arc. And it's one of those nights for Ryan McMahon.
He had 6 in a row against NC State at 23 points. Had a big game a couple years ago against Michigan State. He's made the most of an opportunity to play at a D1 high elite level.
Hughes no. And the first half comes to a close with Louisville holding a 7-point lead on Syracuse. Lots of threes in this one. And lots of energy in the building. Stay tuned. Kevin Connors, Sean Farnham have the Jeep halftime report for you after these messages. Basketball fans, if only we could get this guy to be a little bit more passionate. Dan Shulman, Dick Vitale, you asked for a shootout between Ryan McMahon and Buddy Boeheim. You kind of got it.
Yeah, we really got a shootout here. These two guys are putting a show shooting a long-range three. I'll tell you one thing. We'll take a look right here. Look at Buddy. What I like about Buddy, he's more than just a three-point shooter now. He'll put the ball on the floor. He'll throw little fakes, but he can shoot it wide open three. There he is. You know, he's like the premier guy in the conference in threes made. 3.5 per game. And Ryan McMahon showing his range, man. He's got an area code jump shot. He's shooting that baby from down in Kentucky land. Look at that unbelievable rotation. Oh, I just wish one time he'd throw a little fake and drive the gap and see and go to the foul line.
He's got a dozen points.
I know, but he's a great free throw shooter. He doesn't get to the line enough.
Let's see who's staying ready, presented by Lowe's. Louisville, as we mentioned, shot the three extremely poorly. The last couple of games, they are shooting it well tonight. And in today's basketball, three-point shooting can win you a game, can lose you a game. It's a huge part of the game, and it's a big part of the offense for both of these teams.
You got to recruit those kind of guys that can make that long-range three. Have it part of your arsenal.
If you're curious about Jordan Wara and what kind of a first half he had, played with a lot more aggressiveness but didn't shoot it well. 3 for 10. He does have 9 points, 3 assists, and a couple of rebounds, so a big step up from his last 2 games.
Yeah, really, he had 7 points in the last 2 games. It's not the points as much as the aggressiveness. He's playing, asserting himself. Syracuse made a little run to get close in this game.
And Louisville doing a lot of switching on the perimeter, making things tough on Buddy Boeheim as he's coming off screens.
That was an example of Buddy showing he can put the ball to the deck toe, getting into the mid-range area.
Syracuse is always in the 2-3 zone.
You know they got to find McMahon everywhere he is.
Wara, mid-range jumper, too strong. Weak side rebound, Williams. Wara for three. Williams with a tip-in.
Williams a factor on the inside for them. Size gives them that advantage on the interior.
Boy, so deflating. You play defense not once but twice and can't get the offensive rebound. Dolezaj can't get anywhere with Wara.
Syracuse is one guy shy. They're a Derek Coleman shy of being a good team, a real good team.
That's a pretty good player they had back in the day.
Oh, he was special, man. About a glass seat, a Windex man.
Kids today are Googling, who's that Derek Coleman guy? He was something else. 8 offensive rebounds for Louisville. That's a big part of the game tonight. Wara, 16-footer. Too strong. Great hustle by David Johnson.
Another opportunity.
Bounce pass into Williams. Kick out to Sutton. Extra pass to Wara. And it all started with a hustle play by David Johnson.
Yeah, Johnson made that happen to Diaper Dandy. He hustles to get the ball over, and Wara's really been asserting himself. He's taken like 4 shots already here. Watch this, a nice hustle play.
That's a ball Syracuse has to have.
Yeah, you got to get those long rebounds.
So an 11-point lead, 3 offensive rebounds already in the second half for Louisville.
That means you're playing aggressive basketball. We've often talked about when you show you're aggressive, you're getting on the offensive glass, you're creating deflections, you're causing steals. So you have no post presence. Very tough to getting inside. Nice drive. I love his toughness, man.
Elijah Hughes with a left hand, but you're right. Sidibe's not a scorer. Dolezaj can be, but he's just giving up strength to just about anybody that he plays against.
Yeah, he's not a true low post back to the basket player. They're lacking a guy on the interior to give him that presence.
Wara fouled by Gerard.
He's more a hungry run. He has no question he has come out here with a great attitude, positive, and wants to attack. But I like what Jim never panics on that sideline. And he's been there for a lot of W's. They can tell me, you know, they took away those wins. Really? You can't take away the handshake or walking after the game and having that W. They can't take that away. They're taking a number away.
Williams, no. Loose ball down to the orange. Gerard uses the screen. Got fouled by McMahon.
McMahon's like a ball.
He's saying all ball.
He's like an all ball. The only guy that counts is Mr. Hampton making blowing the whistle.
And whether it was the hand on the back or maybe felt the forearm across the head, but Gerard at the line. I'll tell you, if Joe Girard and Ryan McMahon got into a free throw shooting contest, they'd be the last 2 turning out the lights in this building.
Oh, absolutely.
Go all night.
All night long. This guy, he leads the conference at 93. I mean, it's...
Yeah. And Gerard, let's see, Gerard is at 92, and McMahon's basically there too. He's 29 out of 31, so he's 93.
He's got to go to the line more. That's why I keep talking about putting the ball on the deck, attack a little more. Boeheim attacks a little off the bounce. Put a little fake and drive, jab step.
Johnson, another good decision. That's why they wanted Johnson in the middle of that zone, and he finds Williams.
Well, he's 6'5" point guard. You slide him right in the middle. He has great vision, size to make that pass. Good execution.
Dolezaj, the lob for Sidibe.
Nice play by Dolezaj and Sidibe. Nice lob up on top.
McMahon, Louisville trying to go over the top, and Williams with a chance for 3.
Nice pass diagonally by Ryan McMahon. I think he's improved in other areas. Ball handling and his defense, and he plays hard. And as Chris Mack told me, 3 things. Factor in his leadership skills.
Number 4 on Bourama Sidibe as well. We'll send him to the bench early in the second half.
That's 9 consecutive games now that he's had 4 fouls.
Wow. And they are so thin. They bring in a quality guy into Quincy Guerrier, who comes down with a rebound. But again, for the most part, Jim Boeheim only goes 6 deep.
You know, I get my information. Just Mike Waters and Donna Ditota. They do a great job, man. Syracuse Post Standard. I just steal all that stuff from there. I'm not afraid. They do a great job.
And you advertise the fact that you steal all their stuff.
Why not? They work hard. They do a tremendous job. All these people, not only them, almost every city.
Williams with another rebound. He's playing well again. Sutton.
Oh, nice pass.
Johnson.
Johnson trying to make it a little too fancy. Simple layup. I could have made that layup, Danny Schulman.
Gerard with a drive. Pull up. Not there, and Dolezaj gets called for the foul for pushing Malik Williams. 9-point lead, Cardinals early second half. Dan Schulman, Dick Vitale back here in Louisville. Dick Vitale's Mount Rushmores of college basketball. Terrific book, great lists, and all proceeds go to cancer research. And you spent some time with a young man who's fighting the fight and really fighting hard right now here in Louisville.
Patrick McSwaney, he's a student here. Patrick's a student here. He's a tremendous young man. Mr. Courageous. How's this? 7 times he's battled cancer. 7 times. It's come back. It goes away. It comes back, and he just keeps fighting. He's a student, going to be a nurse, graduating here at Louisville. Just a terrific young guy. Met his brothers today. Talked to his mom on the phone yesterday. Got a beautiful letter from his uncle about his battle. So courageous, and he can't do enough to want to help others by raising money for pediatrics. You can get my book, by the way. Go to dickvitale.com.
McMahon misses a 3. Dolezaj secures the rebound for Syracuse. Louisville has stayed in front, but they can't completely get separation from the Orange.
Orange got some good people on the floor, man. When you talk about their threes on the perimeter.
Guerrier, 16-footer short. Rebound down to Wara.
Yeah, 13 in the last game they played. Guerrier.
Here comes Johnson into the middle of that zone again.
Trying to be a little patient against the zone, attack it to the interior. I think McMahon's doing a great job passing the basketball, bringing it to the inside.
And a Syracuse foul on Marek Dolezaj will send Williams to the line, number 3 on Dolezaj. Friday night, the NBA is back in action. Nikola Jokic and the Nuggets taking on Chris Paul and the Thunder. And then Zion Williamson and the Pelicans. And it'll be Dame time for the Blazers. Coverage tips off at 7 Eastern on ESPN and the ESPN app.
You know, Thunder, you think about Billy Donovan. They named the court after him last game over in Gainesville. That was certainly a great moment. And he's so deserving. I mean, what he did there as a coach is amazing. And what he's doing now with Oklahoma City is unreal. Then you got Zion. I mean, he walked in our game on Saturday in the second half. We didn't know. I looked at Bob Shoes. They looked at me. What's happening? The place exploded as he walked in the second half.
Look at the numbers that he's putting up in his first few weeks in the NBA.
Yep. No doubt. You know, Lane is a lot wider. He's got more movement in there, playing with so many good players around him. They got some good young players.
Hughes with a couple of crossovers, and he draws the foul on Malik Williams. We'll see if it's in the act of shooting. And it is.
Elijah, really a tough offensive player.
Yep.
Very, very tough. Good mental attitude on the court. Believes in himself. He's got that little swag.
That's one of my favorite things that you say.
Swag? Well, you get some swag, too. You and I see the same bar, but my guy, I give a tip. They told me you don't give a guy a tip.
Hey. I do it myself.
You do?
Williams out after his 3rd foul. Stephen Enoch back into the game for the Cardinals.
Louisville came out here with purpose here tonight. They really did.
And they both go down for Hughes to get it back to single digits.
Got to get some stops here. They do a good job moving the open areas in that zone. They're showing some patience here. When that foul is, he can pass the ball.
Back out to a wide open Sutton. They worked on that exact play at shoot-around today, where Johnson at the free throw line looked like he's going to shoot, looked like he might make a pass to the wing, and then just turn around and pass it right back to the top to a wide open teammate.
Well, Sutton's really been so effective for them in many ways.
Hughes kept his footing but missed the shot. Wara spins.
Wow.
And a foul on Hughes, who protests the call.
Okay, Wara's come out here with purpose, man. He's come out with purpose. I know his numbers are not great, but his effort's been super.
Playing much harder than it looked like he did the last couple of games.
No question. Watch the spin right now. Look at that little whirl. Nice spin. Go to the lane. Go to the goal. He's number 2 now in the conference. Number 1 is Elijah, leading the conference in scoring.
Second foul on Hughes. Wara at the line.
You didn't give an award out for Heartbreak Hotel, because that award in the ACC, you know where that's going. It's going to go to North Carolina, Roy Williams.
Absolutely.
Are you kidding me? What they lost? Oh, unbelievable what he's gone through. Frustration at its best.
We got more ACC action coming your way after our game tonight. The Duke Blue Devils, the leaders in the ACC, a half game ahead of Louisville, are in Raleigh to take on the Wolfpack of North Carolina State. Let's see how Vernon Carey Jr. and Trey Jones are putting in the effort for a shot at college basketball's highest award with tonight's Wendy's Wooden Watch.
I think they're a great 1-2 punch. We talk about Dotson and Azubuike. Trey Jones is a catalyst as a point guard, is tremendous. Carries a true low post player. He's been fantastic. That's a big game for NC State.
Yes.
They need a quad 1 win badly.
Yeah.
They need one just like Syracuse needs this one. If dreaming of the NCAA March Madness is part of your package.
Got a Wooden Award candidate at the line, Jordan Wara, who just knocked it down. Right now,
danger time.
Yeah, Joey Brackets has 4 ACC teams in the field. Obviously, Duke, Louisville, Florida State comfortably in. Virginia is in as well, according to Dr. Lenardi. But you're right, if NC State can beat Duke, that really helps their cause.
Oh, absolutely. You don't get many opportunities this year in the ACC. Let's not forget, the ACC has been, to me, over years, the best conference in basketball. Nice little pass there when you look over the years. But this year is not vintage ACC from top to bottom.
No. Hughes finds Guerrier for a bucket to get it back down to 12, but Syracuse still with a big mountain to climb here.
Well, the Big Ten, to me, is the best conference out there. I mean, it's amazing when you look what's going on. Maryland's been terrific. Mark Turgeon's guys won 9 in a row.
Yeah, big win up in East Lansing on the weekend.
And stayed at 8 in a row, too.
What a great pass by Sutton.
They're getting into the gap, Dan. They're using great ability to find the seam and gap. You can see they've really drilled on this, analyzed on film.
Yeah, stayed in front of Gerard, huh? Guerrier, too strong. Enoch the rebound.
Again, really danger time for Syracuse.
Deep one for Wara. Whoa!
He's back! Wara's back! Oh, he is back! Look at Louisville fans, they love it. Listen, that wasn't Jordan Wara that played against Clemson and Georgia Tech. That's the real Jordan Wara. Will the real Jordan Wara stand?
16 for Wara. The Cardinals on a 14-4 run. And all of a sudden the lead is up to 17. This is some deep range here, my friend.
Oh, my. Shut this from down by their airport.
Wow.
Maybe Churchill Dance. He shut down Churchill Dance.
Warren gets a nice ovation as he goes to the bench.
$31,000 came out for that Syracuse Duke game. Fans in Syracuse love it.
Gerard misses a 3.
Louisville seems totally in command here, do they not?
They're making so many good decisions against the zone. It's always tough to play against the zone, but they're doing a nice job. Enoch on the glass. And just way too many offensive rebounds if you're Syracuse.
Well, it's not Syracuse's fault. They just don't have the interior presence. They just don't have it.
Louisville ball. And Louisville in control right now here at the Yum Center. Everybody chipping in for the Cardinals. The lead has grown to 19.
That are on the board will be throwing it back to a childhood.
Montrezl Harrell, terrific player here at Louisville. Now a really good player for the Clippers in the NBA, enjoying a little time away for the game with his family back here at the Yum Center, Richie.
He's got the diaper. Andy's with him, man. Hey, what a job he's doing coming off the bench, man. He's like a starter. Every time I look at him, he's got 17, 20.
You want to talk about a guy with a motor and a guy who went after rebounds. That was Montrezl Harrell. That's the way that Louisville's playing tonight.
Well, he and Lou Williams off the bench are dynamite for the Clippers.
Turned around by Williamson, and right now the Cardinals getting anything they want.
Getting great shots. They're getting great shots, and they're converting them, shooting the ball well. This is the team that played like they did when they won 10 games in a row. Playing effectively, everybody contributing. 8
different Louisville players have scored tonight after that bucket by Williamson. They're on an 18-4 run. Gerard knows. Sutton right through everybody for the rebound.
Yeah, he goes laterally for rebounds, man. He's got a nose for the ball. He attacks it, he tracks it down really well. Syracuse's bench cannot match the bench, certainly, that Louisville possesses.
More good ball movement. Dolezaj bothered the shot. Dolezaj shaken up. Enoch got it back, and then Enoch ran into Dolezaj and hurt him again. Dolezaj gets hurt more than any player in college basketball. It's uncanny.
Plays hard, though, the kid. He gives his best all the time.
Remember, banged up when he hit the court hard in the first half, and I mean, when Enoch runs into Dolezaj is going to get the worst of it. He's given up about 60 pounds.
And look at this. Should take no more than about 10 seconds to make a decision here.
So I think they're going to look to see maybe elbow, forearm, something up above the shoulders, and whether or not this would be a flagrant one. Is that what they're talking about here?
Yeah, I don't want to get started, Dan, but I'm going to tell you this. The use of the monitor has become a nightmare. It has become a nightmare. I know there's times it's got to be utilized, but it's become a nightmare of breaking up the rhythm of games.
Watch the elbow from Enoch. And is that a flagrant one or just an offensive foul? Looked like it got him kind of right at the base of the neck.
I don't think it was done with intent. I really don't. I think he was turning, making a move to the goal. I mean, it's a foul. There's no question.
So it's either an offensive foul or a flagrant one.
Offensive foul.
Unfortunately, Dolezaj appears to be okay. Just got the worst of that collision.
You know, this game was supposed to be big to Syracuse. I was thinking mentally, maybe you can reflect back to last year when they had a game that they won that was so meaningful. They ended up beating Duke late, and that really helped them big time get their chance to play in the tournament. Come on, let's go, man. Make decisions. Let's go.
And Ron Gruber on his way over to give us the ruling. Great. No contact. Thank you, Ron. No contact above the shoulders. Basketball play. Offensive foul. Not a flagrant one.
Good call. Yeah. He came up with the right, I think, decision. You'd like to see you think that Syracuse can get back in this game. I just cannot see it. Can you? I mean, seriously.
I mean, 21. It's an 18-4 run right now. They were hanging around at 7-9, 7-9.
Right.
The way they shoot the three, you're
back
in the game, but 21's a whole different story.
21 with 10 minutes to go. You can say, oh, there's a lot of time. But right now, everything has been in control by Louisville. Another turnover.
Good hustle by Hughes, but he can't save it. It belongs to the Cardinals.
You know, show the consistency of Jim Boeheim. If they don't make the tournament this year, okay, that would mean they've missed a bid 3 times in 6 years. The last time that happened was in the 70s.
Wow.
In the 70s, that's how consistent he's been.
Yeah, well, he hasn't had, quite the same level of talent or the same level of success since Syracuse has come to the ACC as he did in those decades in the Big East, although they were in the Final Four just 4 years ago.
Right.
But even that year, it wasn't like they were a top seed or anything like that. It's been a little bit tougher for them as Sidibe's now fouled out of the game.
You know, you and I did the very first game, if you remember, Memphis, Madison Square Garden, Carmelo Anthony, the year won the national title.
Yeah.
I remember talking to him before the game. They had so much hype coming into the game. And they got beat by Memphis, my mind tells me. But you just knew that he was going to be special, and that team was special.
Dick Sidibe fouled out in 11 minutes of action. And you can see how both he and his coach feel about that.
Well, also the fact that they don't have much inside. They really don't have much to help him around the basket at all. I mean, he and Dolezaj really basically by himself as a tandem. I think of Syracuse over the years, some of the greats that they've had, unbelievable inside. Ronnie Cycli, remember him?
Yeah, great player.
God, great player.
You mentioned Derek Coleman earlier.
Coleman, unbelievable talent.
Guerrier draws the foul.
Think about guys like Cycli, Sherman Douglas, Billy Owens, Carmelo Anthony, Michael Carter Williams. I can go on and on. Where do you want to end? The Grant, Jeremy Grant, Wesley Johnson, McCullough, Malachi Richardson, Deion Waiters. Incredible.
What about Jerry McNamara? What about that guy?
Yeah. Adrian Autry.
Look at Alan Griffin, Adrian Autry.
Unbelievable.
I'll tell you, if they have a coach's game, Syracuse is a tournament team, right?
Hey.
Syracuse does well if they have a coach's game.
Yeah. They got a pretty good bench right there.
Yeah.
There's a pretty good player by the name of the Motor City. Played with Mr. Boeheim. I think they averaged like 30 a game between them. 29.5 for David Bing, 0.5 for Jimmy. I'm only teasing. That's not true.
Why can't you be nice, Dick? Why can't you be nice?
I love Jimmy.
McMahon off to Eno. And the route is on.
Man's really done a good job passing the rock, man. He really has. Playing good defense, too, on Gerard.
Boeheim with a tough turnaround.
I'm making a prediction. Boeheim and Gerard next year getting a little help in their recruiting, some bigs to help them. I'm telling you, those two guys are going to have a sensational year. All you fans in the Carrier Dome are going to have a lot to cheer about. Nice little dish by McMahon. Good feel. Good understanding. Knows where his teammates are. He's been rewarded, too. He's been rewarded because he's really played hard defensively by Coach Mack. That's why he's playing a lot of minutes. Yep. He's more than just a jump shooter.
Yeah, stronger and quicker than he was when he got here.
Yep.
Gerard hesitates. Guerrier has it. Well, I'll tell you, Guerrier works hard on the offensive glass.
Yeah, and you know, he's not really big in terms of 6'10". Kid working hard, man. Watch right now. Watch Guerrier on the inside. Here he is going to work for the offensive rebound. Nice little ball fake. And then he goes up and he scores.
12 points and 8 rebounds already for the freshman.
You know, they could finish the year in a nice fashion. Because after this, they play no longer any heavyweights. They can win their final 4 games.
Georgia Tech, actually 5 games left. Georgia Tech at Pittsburgh.
Tough. But they still will win that game.
Carolina at the Carrier Dome, at BC, at Miami. But if they lose this one, even if they win those 5, Dick, they go to 19 and 12. They just don't have enough of those quality wins. They didn't have a good enough non-conference season. They've got a road win at Virginia, but they just don't have the quad 1 victories to get into the tournament.
Well, I'll tell you this. They win those 5 games, you got a chance. At least they'll go to the NIT and give these guys some experience there.
And the frustration continues for Jim Boeheim and company.
So
wanted a foul call, didn't get it.
Should have had a call there. He got fouled. No doubt about it. I don't blame Jim being upset.
And there's a technical.
They can't pound it. They missed the call, right? And there's something that's so unfair. Coach fighting for what's right for his teammates. Oh, McMahon misses the technical. Incredible. Oh.
Just his 3rd miss of the season. 29 for 32.
You know, let the guy vent his frustration let him vent his frustration, but they missed the call. 3 guys. I mean, there's no question there's contact on him right there. Then you compound it by nailing with a tee.
I think he was clean on the ball, maybe a little bit with the body.
With the body.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. They're slicing that zone apart. Slicing that zone apart. The rotation's not good. Look at Jim. He is furious. He is furious.
And I think we have a technical going on Eno. And Chris Mack's not happy with Eno.
He was hanging on that rim.
So that's a Class B technical foul. Just one free throw there. And
Class
Hughes knocks it
B's,
down.
Class A's, Class C's. I got a lot of Class C's. But he's not happy, Chris Mack. Come back to haunt him in a close game.
You know, you look at this league and you got Mike Krzyzewski and Roy Williams and Jim Boeheim, Hall of Famers. Chris Mack's got a chance, I think you would agree, to be here for a long, long time.
Oh, absolutely.
At Louisville and really make his mark. He is a tremendous coach.
Did a great job with Xavier.
Yeah. Number 4 on Dolezaj.
Game is sloppy now, really sloppy now. The rhythm's broken totally.
Well, I think Chris Mack got what he wanted more than anything else. I mean, yeah, they're making shots and they're executing and they're moving the ball, but he's gotten effort more than anything, and I think that's what he wants to see.
Yeah, there's no doubt about the effort. The minute they started, the intensity, the emotion, passion they played with was special. Even Warren comes out of the gate, doesn't make really shots. There's 3, I think, for 10 in the first half, but you can see the effort and the energy and the enthusiasm, the 3 E's of life. You got to have those, man.
Yep.
You have those, a lot of good things happen. That's what makes me act 12 years old.
12 might be overstating it a little bit. Right?
You're right about that. Oh, jeez.
McMahon out to a big ovation.
Did a real nice job here tonight. Not only making those 3s, but passing the ball and defending. I mean, he's really controlled a little bit Gerard, who's a very good offensive player.
Bryson Goodine, too strong on the 3. At the offensive end, to your point about passing, Louisville has 19 assists on its 25 field goals. That's a terrific percentage.
There's another one that's just throwing the ball
20 for 26.
Layup for layups. You can't get those kind of unmolested shots around the basket. That's like the zone I used to watch them play.
Boeheim.
That was not an easy shot. He was challenged on that shot.
And Dolezaj just fouled out.
Maybe Coach Boeheim's going to go in and get some size for that.
So Sidibe's out, Dolezaj's out, and there's still 7.5 minutes to go in a game that has gotten away from the Orange. Kevin, Sean, thank you. Big East been a heck of a league. Might get 7 teams in. Seton Hall is going to get a very high seed.
Oh, absolutely. They've had a terrific year. That's my alma mater, man. They don't claim me, but that's my alma mater.
Why don't they claim you?
Well, I don't know. They're tremendous. In fact, the AD's coming to my house. We're going to do a little podcast from my home.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're doing a lot of fun doing that.
Give them a nice meal, and maybe they'll claim you.
Hey, I'll tell you this. Seton Hall, he's done a heck of a job. Kevin Woolley used to be on the staff here with Rick Pitino.
That's right.
Pitino, let me just say this. The New York Knickerbockers looking for a coach, right? Reed, I would tell you he would electrify that city. Electrify it when he wants to listen and make the right call, because the Knicks have been an embarrassment, a humiliation. Listen, over the years, the fans don't deserve that. They deserve some excitement, some energy. And he's such a coach and teacher, motivator. I'm telling you, he would be natural.
We get our first look of the night at Jesse Edwards for Syracuse after Dolezaj fouled out. Buddy Boeheim got poked in the eye as well and is trying to deal with that as the Orange turn it over again. Hard to believe this was a 7-point game at halftime and in the early minutes of the second half, and it's now a 27-point game.
Well, in fairness to Syracuse, they really came here at the wrong time. And really, timing is so really vital when you're playing people. And playing this team tonight is trouble.
Kept alive by Williams, but it belongs to the Orange.
People don't realize you win 10 in a row in one of the elite power conferences. That's special. And what Baylor has done, you know, that Baylor-Kansas game, 23 in a row. You know what their loss was early?
Washington.
That's right.
I was there.
You were there, right?
It was up in Alaska.
Mike Hopkins.
That's right.
Mike Hopkins.
That's right.
See, they're going to be one of the major. Mike's done a good job his first couple of years. Well, what a disappointing year they've had. Unreal.
Don't forget Baylor hosting Kansas Saturday noon Eastern in Waco. Williams just having a field day.
It's one layup.
Got a double-double.
It's one layup after layup.
All right, let me ask you this. You've seen Duke. You've seen Louisville. You've seen Florida State. Break them down. Who do you like? Advantages, disadvantages?
Well, you look at Florida State. I love their depth. Boeheim gets one off the glass. I like the depth factor. I like the fact that they're very physical. I've seen Duke. You're going to like that combination. Certainly Trey Jones. You're going to like Carey. And you're going to like their depth. They're a deep team. And then you look at Louisville. I said on SportsCenter, prior to their losing those two games, I would give the edge to Louisville. Why? Because I like their deep. When you think about it, two guys that can rotate in the post, and certainly Enoch and Williams. You talk about they got a star in Warren. They got 4 guards that can play. They defend well, and there's a dunk.
Missed it.
And he bricked it.
Missed it.
I still give the slight edge to Louisville. I really do. I think that was unbelievable what happened to them against Clemson and Georgia Tech, and it might have been a wake-up call. It might have been a wake-up call. I thought you were going to ask me, who do you like, Baylor? And I'll tell you this. People have said to me, San Diego State, you can't tell me they're going to be on the first line as a #1 seed. The #2 seed would love to get on a line with them. Oh, really? You know they beat Creighton, and Creighton is really good. You know they beat Iowa State? All right, here goes a brick right here. Brick off the glass. Boom. At least he got up there. A lot of guys can't get up.
Look at the reaction on Sutton's face.
Hey, you know, Dan, the point I want to make, you're 26-0, and that conference is not Cupcake City. Coach Dutcher and his kids deserve the #1 line.
I think Chris Mack called this timeout just to say, hey, guys,
let's cut.
I know we're up big, but let's play the game out. Let's play properly.
We're good sportsmanship.
Yeah.
I agree. Don't want to embarrass anybody. I can't wait to get over to Lexington. You know, I know you got a great game there. We have the game at 6 o'clock. And really, Kentucky, Florida right now has won 5 of the last 6 games. And that's big. They're 9-4 in conference. Kentucky, the reason they're where they're at. The one, I haven't read this anywhere. I'm going to give a little accolade and a little shout out to Mr. Calipari. When the team struggled, they lost to Evansville, lost to Utah, lost to Ohio State. Look at this, Kentucky. How did he get in here? How did he get in here with that shirt on? Well, let me say this. Never once did he panic. Never once did he lose his poise. He kept saying, we'll be okay. We'll be okay. And the kids feel that. They feel that. When you get talent and coaching, oh, look at his legs.
Whoa. Williamson wanted a foul call, didn't get it.
I really believe he's a key reason, big time, why they're doing what they're doing.
Edwards from Hughes.
Ever trying to take advantage of a little PT, a little playing time?
Yep. Edwards, Washington getting some playing time because of the score and the 2 players who have fouled out. Williamson, former McDonald's All-American, blocked by Edwards. He's got great length, but like a lot of the big guys for Syracuse in recent years, they're thin. They're long and they're agile, but they're thin. Deep 3 by Gerard.
He's going to be special. He's not going to be just good. He's going to be special up to carry it on. Is that diagonal pass against the track?
And the 3 for Quinn Slazinski, the freshman from Houston. The seldom used 10th man for the Cardinals as the bench and the building explode.
He's been on cloud 9, man. Nice inside play. He's saying, Coach Boeheim, give me more minutes. Look what I'm doing. Give me more PT. Love to see these kids who never get a lot of playing time, get an opportunity to practice. They're usually so royal and dedicated to their programs.
Chris Mack may not look happy, but his team's up 25 right now. What a great Eastern Conference matchup. The 76ers and the Bucks. Joel Embiid and Giannis Antetokounmpo. Montrezl Harrell not playing in that one, but he'll take a vested interest in it. The Clipper is back here at Louisville taking in some Cardinals basketball tonight. He's got to be enjoying this one as much as anybody.
You know, it's great when you see these guys come back to the All-Star game, back to their schools.
Yeah.
Shows really how much they care. And a lot of them down there at the Duke game the other day against Notre Dame. You had Quinn Cook there. You had Jones, Tyus Jones, who, by the way, said to me, Morant is unbelievable.
We saw Jim Boeheim talking with one of the officials, Roger Ayers. Where do the Orange go from here? On their way to a lopsided defeat. They've got 5 more games. Even if they run the table, you'd have to think they have to do some serious damage in the ACC tournament to have any kind of a chance to make the dance, as Dwayne Sutton adds to the totals for Louisville.
I'll tell you one thing, an only great game tonight. Nobody's talking about 2 mid-majors that can play. East Tennessee State and Furman. We're talking about teams like 23-4, 22-5. East Tennessee State is up 6 on them with 2 minutes to go. Rutgers looks like they're going to lose their first game at home. It was 17-0 at home to Michigan. Michigan's been on a roll lately.
Don't forget Duke and North Carolina State coming up after us tonight right here on ESPN. Another big game in the ACC. And maybe the biggest game of them all, Saturday afternoon. Game day will be there. It's a Sonic blockbuster. Kansas at Baylor. Waco will be loud as the Bears host the Jayhawks and try to beat them for the 2nd time this season.
It's going to be right after they have game day.
Yes.
Reese and company got game day, and they can hook that up. The place is going to be electric like you can't believe. It'll be electric, though, also. Rupp's one of my favorite places to go. I think when you think about venues, you got to think certainly Kansas. That's unreal when you go down there. Duke with the Cameron Crazies. And I like Rupp because the fans are so passionate. Same times to a fault, but they're so passionate. I'll be stealing all my information out there from Jerry Tipton, from John Clay. Got to get those guys, man. They give me all my word.
Do you buy these guys dinner? Do you do something?
No, they should buy me dinners, giving them PR. I buy them dinners. I mean, I really respect so much, like people, Peter Moore, Kenny Klein. People have no idea how hard these SIDs work, and these local reporters that cover their teams. They're invaluable. And they've been invaluable to me for 40 years.
Gerard still in the game for the Orange. Again, a couple of players have fouled out, and they're very thin, don't have a lot on the bench. But as you said, Jesse Edwards is making the most of his playing time.
Yeah, he's just got to simply get in the weight room, get bigger, and eat and eat and eat. John Wildhack, the AD down, is going to make sure he eats and eats and eats.
Well, they've been trying to do that with Dolezaj. He's on, protein shakes and thousands of calories, and he just can't put any weight on.
And some people just cannot do it. John, they tell me he's done a great job down here at Syracuse. Speaking of Syracuse, my agents, oh my, Sandy Montag, he's going to be so disappointed tonight. Sue Lipton, really disappointed.
Edwards with a block.
They went to Syracuse. What about Ben, your son?
Yeah.
He's going to be a little disappointed.
He is. He's a new house guy. He's a sophomore at Syracuse right now.
He's going to be a broadcaster.
That guy's the most disappointed of anybody right tonight. After Duke, NC State, stay tuned for Sports Center with Kenny Mayne and John Anderson. We'll have Wilder Fury updates, an interview with Zion Williamson of the NBA's best and worst first half performances. Sports Center after the ACC doubleheader tonight. Over the top for Edwards. It's ragged right now, my friend. It is ragged right now.
Kids they get very few minutes, very few opportunities to play.
Yeah, we've got Keith Otto in the game. He's a walk-on from Roanoke, Virginia. He's in there right now for Louisville as Fresh Kimball goes to the line.
Cards' next game will be with North Carolina here.
And here comes more of the walk-ons on both sides.
You know, it's really amazing when you look at Louisville. They only got one guy in double figures in scoring for the season, and it's Warren. Everybody else, nobody in double figures.
Sean Belby is checked into the game for Syracuse. Grant Williams for Louisville.
And vacate that title when they beat Michigan down there in 2013.
Yep. Hogan Orbaugh into the game for the Cardinals as well.
Vacate. Should vacate you. Stay in baseball. I mean, come on now. The Astros, Mr. Commissioner, get that banner down. Cheating for the edge is a ridiculous, absurd advantage. You can't allow that.
Going to be a rough year in visiting ballparks for the Astros, won't it? As Goodine knocks down a 3.
Well, it takes away the integrity of the game. Are you kidding me? There's no doubt their investigation showed they cheated like crazy. And if to allow that banner's got to come down.
And a foul by Goodine is going to send Otto to the line. And this is what fans love, when a guy who never gets to play gets a chance to actually get on the score sheet.
Yep, 10 years from now, talking about how he stood on the line in a major elite game on national TV. And Dan Schulman called my name.
Vitale.
Yeah. Dan, a great work for you again, buddy.
You too, my friend.
Have a great
Always
time
fun.
down in Waco. You and Jay and the whole gang. It should be terrific. Should be terrific. We'll be watching.
Well done. Knocked them both down.
Yeah, it looked like McMahon on that free throw line.
Shot clock turned off. Final seconds ticking away. And what a different looking Louisville team than the last couple of games, as Edwards will go to the line. Louisville with the win will move into a tie, effectively in a tie for first with Duke atop the league standings. Louisville will be 13-3. Duke is 12-2. Don't forget, Duke is at NC State next.
It's a big game for NC State, really big game. They're in a position like Syracuse has been in. They need that game for that resume, a quad 1 win. Tell you one thing, this performance is not emblematic of what Syracuse has done this year. You look at the number of close games. They played people really tough. Not only that, they were 4-2 on the road in the ACC coming into this game.
Yep.
This is not, they just caught Louisville with a chip on their shoulder, embarrassed, humiliated how they played, and they took advantage of it and really dominated this game.
Washington. And that's going to do it. The Cardinals end their 2-game losing streak with a resounding 24-point win over Syracuse tonight to go to 13-3 in ACC play. The final score, Louisville 90 and Syracuse 66. For Dick Vitale and our crew, I'm Dan Schulman. Thank you so much for watching as we send you back to Kevin Connors in the studio.